What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with an all new episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. This is going to be a long review because this episode was over an hour and some change long. So bear with me and see if I can get all the notes out. Alright, so opening with Giselle. Giselle did some construction on her house. And she's planning a launch party for their, Reasonably Shady podcast. But it's going to be outside of her house, so she got a tent. I'm looking at it, I'm like, you really going to have a party where you got construction, you got debris, you got cars, you got a whole lot of hammering back and forth? You sure, kid? You sure as hell? Alright, so she's on the phone with Robin, and she says even though her and Karen have had, a healing at the goddess brunch, they're going through baby steps, but she's not the point where she don't trust Karen to come into her house, considering all the nasty things she said about her house. Everybody has talked about your house. Giselle, everybody has. Candace has, Ashley has, the whole entire world has. Everybody has talked about your house, your barn, your, what did Candace say? Your tax lien or something about your house. Everybody has had something to say about your house. So it's not like it's, far-fetched. But the fact that you're trying to keep from someone coming inside, nobody wants to see your tacky decor. Good night. So obviously she is still feeling away about where things left off with Wendy. Even though they have had an understanding, she still feels some shame. So she didn't want her in the house either. So Robin was like, so how they gonna use the bathroom? And she's like, I don't know, there's some trees, they can pop a squat. She said, listen, that's not a good enough reason to say that, Giselle. If that's the case, then we shouldn't even have this event. So Robin's in the confessional with a very nice confessional look. She said, I'm not co-signing on this. Like, how can we agree to start fresh, but then you want to, put out two people who we are somewhat still friends with out in the woods because you don't want them in your house to use your bathroom? How are we going to treat everybody equal if we going to point out two members that we don't see eye to eye with? That's not right. And if that's the case, we should not have the event. So I was proud of Robin for looking at Giselle's very petty way of starting shit when there shouldn't be no starting shit. Okay, I'm done. Karen, her publicist come over with the prototypes of her candle line. Now, when she had Ray carry them, I was so concerned about his back and his knees, and he looked like he was shaking. I said, you guys better take that box away from him, because he cannot hold it. Take that box away. Take it away. So, obviously, we got sneak peeking for home expansion line. This has been the worst. Like she said before, it's been about a year that she had the LaDon, candle line in works. So she's going to be gifting the rest of the ladies a candle. And she mentioned she had a meeting with Wendy and said, who's Wendy? That's my friend. She's also doing the candle line either. Oh yes, I heard her. She's a teacher, a professor, a very brilliant professor. And she also has candlelight too, and I think it will be a great success for her considering the field that she's in, and she can also brand herself. So she was talking to Ray about her plan to pot, her flowers and everything. And a young woman called Ray's phone and sent a message. So she's like, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? So she didn't know. Calls the woman, say, this is Mrs. Raymond Huger. He's like, don't tell your name. I didn't. I said Mrs. Raymond Huger. Okay, please don't call this phone again. It's what I find her as. One little young thing make you upset. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Where the hell did this thing come from? It went so freaking fast. I'm like, you about to plan. Ray gets a phone call from a young woman. Nobody wants Ray. I'm sorry. I don't know if that was a prank or something, but that was very much like, okay, interesting. Very interesting. Candace. So Candace, her mom is still visiting. She survived Video Music Week, but now she's ready for her mom's visit to be over. And her mom is nitpicking about her choice of a backsplash, her choice of how to renovate. This is modern, this is old. So let me do my house my own way, and you can go home. I am done. She can leave. Miss Dorothy can leave. So I'm like, all right, cool. So after that, Candace wants to know what happened at the music video because she heard from Wendy that me was asking questions about, does Chris get paid? Is he the manager? Stuff like that. And she wants to know exactly what was said. All of a sudden, Mama Dot don't remember what she said. You don't remember what you said, but it's on camera. It's on camera that you knew you were mite, and you knew you wanted to start stuff. You knew it. This is bothering me. I don't know why, but this is extremely bothering me. Sorry, y'all. Ooh, so much better. Anyway, so obviously, you know, now Mama Dad don't remember what she said on how she practically opened her mouth to anybody who said hi to her. She was talking about her son-in-law. Now she's not, no, you got amnesia? Okay. So, of course, since, you know, she said she's not getting any answers for what's being said, for some odd reason, in the midst of that, you know, who the hell wants to question my husband? Where, you know, if he was caught in it was called the MGM, fucking Billy Ghosts and other humans and shit, then you can ask questions. I was like, why did she bring up that? That was a clear shade towards Ashley and her husband's indiscretions last season. But I felt like, Candace, why are you bringing up Ashley's situations? Ashley wasn't present, as you so didn't want it. So why are you bringing up why are you bringing that up? I don't know why you brought up, I don't know why you brought that up. It didn't make no sense, and I felt really nasty. I felt the way about that. So Chris comes in to the kitchen. He said, what's going on? So the town crier here is telling me how Mia was asking questions about, you know, what do you do? Why are you my manager? And where's the money going from it? So Chris said nobody understands our relationship. And Dorothy wants to add even more. I think that Mia was talking about the legalities of what it means to be a manager and be a husband. And how she's wasn't sure if you were okay with it. But Chris, I've never asked you for a penny. I've asked you for a penny. You cannot say there's not one bill in my name that I haven't paid for. You know what I'm saying? I pay all the bills. And I don't have no type of adding money from nobody. So everything that I pay for is coming from me. So when Dorothy, said, well, at least you guys got the prenup, I'm all happy about that because they have a prenuptial agreement, which I knew she was happy about that. But Candace wants to now say, me, I thought you were fun and funny, but now, you about to do this with my mama. Go ahead with your chiropractor strippers LLC and leave us alone. Well, I didn't like the fact that she put all of it on Mia. And I said in my last video, Mia was engaging in the conversation, but the culprit is your mama. Your mama went to everybody else besides Mia about what does Chris do? Is he on unemployment? And that's a big ass house. And I don't think he's paying all the bills. Your mama insinuated that he's not paying all the bills. All Mia said was, I hope she knows what she's doing because having your husband as a manager doesn't work sometimes. I went through it. And is he getting paid? Question everybody else wanted to know. So, okay, Candace, you're doing the same thing. You did not even give the same energy to Giselle and Robin, who were both saying stuff. Okay. Mia takes her kids ice cream and her mom meets her and she tells her mom that her oldest son has earned $100. He was doing chores, washing the dishes, taking out the dishwasher, taking out the trash, making his bed, also helping his sister make her bed. And apparently, her mom still makes her oldest kids' beds and they were 21. You ain't making my bed, mama. You still babying your kids? No, ma'am. So obviously, she still pretty much have a very good relationship with her other siblings. She still does stuff for them. But it still sucks the fact that you can't even do that for your oldest daughter. So, she still miss her oldest daughter. But considering the fact that she technically lives with her other sister, they do everything together. So she is technically a living nanny for her kids. But they go to the mall together, dinner, manis and petties. They depend on each other. But she realized that you have other kids too. They want to hang out with you too. They just don't want you to watch their kids. They want you to hang out with me because I love you. So she says, we need to hang out more because I love the pace where we're going. But I am very busy. I need to put in my calendar. So the mom pretty much can't do anything until she is free from her sister's calendars because she relies on her sister's calendars, Rebecca's calendar, that's her sister's name, Rebecca. She relies on her calendar, making sure that she's free, also from helping her with her kids and things that she needs to do. And she's like, apparently, since her mom has been living with them since she's been out of prison, her mom has not carved out a way for her own routine, for her own find her own self of, doing things for herself, but also making sure she can carve out time to be with her kids. It should not always be about you are present with your other daughter's life and her kids, but you completely disregard and dismiss your other one. So it was a question asked, how long has your mom been out of prison and what were the charges for, if you don't mind saying it? She does not mention the charges, but her mom has been out of prison for at least 6 years, and she was originally sentenced for 20 years. So they moved to Bethesda, and she asked her mom to nanny for her, but she couldn't do it because her sister needed her. So Mia felt like, so since I have my ducks in a row, I don't need my mother. Since I have the means of finding a nanny, paying for a nanny to help me, I don't need my mother. But the mom said, no, that's not what I said, but that's how Mia felt. Mia felt since she's better off, you don't need to be there. You don't need to still keep up a relationship or try to have one, at least a mother-daughter one. Not so much as a woman that I pay to watch my kids. No, because I think that's what your sister is using her for. But either way, you know what I'm saying, it's like, I want us to try to do more together. The mom said, I'm here now, and I feel like your life would have been in a different direction considering the mom and dad that you had. But Mia says, my passion and my drive for wanting more for myself and my kids came from you guys not being there. But she wants a better relationship, and Mia admits that, she's still healing. She's still suffering. So, of course, everything that has been happening, she is going to still feel away, because I don't think she has fully healed from what she went through for being in foster care. Now, where she's at, she is obviously making good money. She's a company owner and a mayor and a wife, but she still have unresolved feelings of being with her mother. And now, since you are a steady and able-bodied parent to her other kids, to her siblings, do you still have time for me? Or am I not a part of that plan? Because now since I made it out, I made it safe, I still don't need you to be there for me. It looks like it's like crooked or something, I don't know. But they're gonna work hard and make it a better relationship. Wendy invites Karen over because as much as she's busy with being a professor, a commentator, and a mother and a wife, she loves giving back to charity. So she's going to come up with a way of giving back to the teachers. Give them the supplies, because sometimes when it comes down to getting schoolwork, it's a lot of supplies that a lot of parents don't have the means to do. So she's going to give it to the parents, the teachers, to give back to the students so they can have supplies for the classes. So she talked to Karen about the meeting that she had with Eddie, and is he on board? He said he's okay. So Karen's pretty much trying to give her some confidence. Listen, we're both black women trying to work in this $1 million industry, multi-million dollar industry. There's enough room for both of us to shine, okay? So apparently, Wendy is feeling some type of way that even though Karen's candle line had already been to work for a year, it's colliding with Wendy's upstart sudden urge to try to have a candle line. But she's feeling some type of way because she still doesn't know where she at. She is still on, the heck is that? She's still back at square one. Not knowing how much she wants to sell the candles for and not knowing how much she wants to spend. She got the mission statement down, but everything else to get the production going, she's still lost. So Askel comes over and she tells him what's going on. Askel hasn't been an educator for the past 10 years, and she knows what it's like when it comes to the supplies that student needs. Sometimes teachers have to pay out their own pockets to provide for supplies for the kids, and especially for the pandemic, it's been really hard. So they were talking about that, and then they talk about the video shoot and how they can't believe that Mia asked those questions to Dorothy, and they were like, I have been so offended, and someone told my mama like that would not have been right. So the whole thing about Chris getting paid, asking if he's on payroll. But Karen's in her confessional, she's saying Mia is direct, Mia is transparent, but I don't think that Mia came from a malicious standpoint of asking those questions. I don't think so either. I think she had just an inquisitive mind to find out, is Chris getting paid, and how is he being her manager and her husband? How's that going? Even though none of her business, but I'm a nosy person. I want to know. So, yeah, a scale brings up the Shady podcast invite, the invite for the event that they're having. She said, "How did you guys feel about the invitation?" At first, I thought they didn't receive it, but excuse me, they read between the lines and felt like it was a shady event or haters gonna hate. A part of me felt like was Askel trying to I'm trying to find the right word. Being a little bit of a stir, in my opinion. I don't know. I felt weird how Askel wanted to bring up the invite and brought up what it meant in the text because this was a reasonably shady podcast, okay? And I thought that they mentioned that they were doing a business venture together as a group. I guess not. So she asked them, what did you think about it? You know, shaders going to shade, haters going to hate, something like that. So Wendy felt like, okay, maybe we're doing a business venture together. Wendy felt like it was directed towards her. I don't know. I feel a little bit of a I feel a little bit of indifferent how Askel wanted to know what the girls felt about the invite. Obviously, Candace didn't feel away. Ashley didn't feel away. And I don't think Karen cared. I think she wanted Wendy to still care. I think she wanted Wendy to still be in the feeling that she felt from Williamsburg. I don't know. That's just me. Let me know in the comments if you feel like I'm reaching or you feel like Askel was just asking a direct question and it didn't mean nothing. Let me know. So, Wendy talks about how, we need a getaway to refresh, regroup. Sorry. And I feel like, before your vow renewal, I think we just need to get away and just have a quiet time. So I'm thinking go to the Eastern Shore, near the beach. Let's get some sun. And the men is going to come. This is going to be a couples trip. And yes. So of course she's like, everybody's gonna come, and hopefully, for Giselle and Robin, who's gonna come for them? Maybe she can come for the luggage. I don't know if Juan's gonna be there. Is Juan coming? Probably not. Okay. Giselle, she's preparing for the launch, and she is, trying to prepare everything. She's still doing construction in her home, which is bad. That is so understandably unappealing for you to have a podcast event or a lunch event, and you got file towels everywhere, boards, cars hammering and shit. That is so not how you do an event, Giselle. And apparently she's walking around with a boot on her foot. She was, doing some backyard work with knowing the girls was coming over, and a table, she's holding a couple of tables, and one dropped on her foot. She doesn't need surgery, but she will be in that boot for 4 weeks. Ooh, child. Ashley's the first to arrive, and she is so overly excited about seeing how the house has been coming together. It's been a long time, and she has a long way to go to get it fixed. What? Look. Mia pulls in, and she's like, where am I? This is supposed to be a hotel Giselle, not a motel Giselle. Obviously, the aesthetics of everything. This was so not appealing place. The tent don't look nice. You got wind blowing the balloons. It was just a mess. So all the ladies start to arrive, and Karen is pulling out her gift, and she gives Giselle the biggest one because she has an injured foot, and of course, peacemaking. And obviously, Wendy's looking a little bit of a hater. And Robin peeks in and says, I think it's kind of a coincidence that Karen has her candle line in front of Wendy with her candle line, and maybe she did like a slam dunk. Boom! That's how you do a candle line. What is wrong with me? Why am I so yawning? And it's so terrible. I'm so sorry. But I peeped Wendy's whole energy as soon as she came in and saw that. I feel like Wendy, it's not a competition. If your candle line is still within the works, that's fine. But since Karen had admitted that her candle line was already a year in the making, Karen already did the hard work. Your candle line is not going to be completed in a month span, 2 month span, 4 month span. It takes a long time to get a business off the ground. You just need to prioritize and make it work for you. If this is what you really want to do, then take the time to do it. So apparently, they're not going to wait no longer for Candace to arrive, so they're going to start the game. So they will start the podcast event. So obviously during the pandemic, they realized that Robin and Giselle make a good pair because Robin can be reasonable, Giselle can be shady. So they created a Shady podcast. They're with iHeart, Black Effect platform. Super exciting. Kudos for y'all, even though I don't listen to it. And they've had 3 episodes so far. They recorded the episodes, and now they coming up with a game. And the genres that they pick are pop culture, current trends, lifestyle, just being them. Even though they haven't had any disagreements yet because they are working together and they are friends, but they definitely had disagreement before this event happened, and it was the pettiness that Giselle, that Giselle displayed about how not having certain people use the bathroom in the house. She said, "Okay, Wendy, who made the list to not use the bathroom? You and Karen." She's like, "What?" Yeah. And she's like, "First of all, why?" She's like, "What you say about my house?" Melody said, "I've never said nothing about your house." Karen said, "I certainly said something about your house. I did." So, of course, with the way that we have left things off, I wasn't sure if I would even allow you near my space, to be honest. So, but again, she said, "I'll never talk about your house." It flashbacks to the reunion. I talk about how you dress. So, of course, flashback to reunion. Wendy calls Giselle a pretty girl, which means she doesn't have to try because she's so pretty. She's a Latin girl with green eyes. She doesn't have much to do, much to work for. So, but then it led to, okay, well, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the pretty girl syndrome. So then Wendy said, "You know what? I wasn't even going to come because I don't know how the invite was." Well, there's a reason we shady podcast. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be some shady moments here. Hence why you had to figure out if, you had to come and find out. But I felt like, Wendy, you had a stink attitude from the beginning, trying to not connect it to her. But I feel like Askel put you up on notice to read between the lines and to pretty much have an attitude when you came. And of course, you have an attitude more when you found out Karen brought supplies, not surprise, brought her home essentials kit, and that made you feel some type of way. But if Wendy, if you felt like, the text or the context of the whole Evite, then you shouldn't have came. You shouldn't have come. But of course she said, I'm here. But then Giselle brought up the whole nude interlude. We didn't know what the hell that was, but we showed up anyway. I'm like, okay. And she said, "I'm here for this too." Anyway. So everybody spreads apart to get a refill. Karen pulls Mia to a side to get the rest of the home essentials kit. And she lets Mia know that was a lot of conversations happened at Wendy's house about how she felt what was being said while you had the conversation with Miss Dorothy. And it ended with, I would have gotten so offended, had someone talk to my mother like that, or ask questions about this and that. So that was Wendy saying that? Okay, but somebody was talking to you. Okay, cool. So me already know on game that Wendy definitely felt the way about what she had a conversation with Miss Dorothy. But she said, I was having a conversation with Miss Dorothy, not to Wendy, so why are you upset? So of course, they were all gifted with paddles. One on each side says reasonably, the other side says shady. So they're going to go with a series of questions, and is it reasonable or is it shady once it's being discussed. The first question was, is it wrong to hold a grudge even if an apology was made? Yes, Karen said it's reasonable, but she says she has held on to a grudge, and once she let it go, Giselle does something else. And it flashback, the Erica Long situation, the tax situation. There are a lot of things that Giselle has done that makes a person hard to just let it go. And Giselle, you do the same exact thing. Now, I'm not doing it. I'm not talking about it. I'm done. And then, of course, it was the second question. Is it okay to talk about your friend behind their back? I think everybody says it's reasonable, but it says it's shady. But it all depends on the context of the talking. It was a simple, how's she doing, how's it going? It's reasonable if you know the kind of what they're talking about. If it's not bad, it's not malicious or petty. It's a simple conversation, and it can be reasonable. Okay, and then they're talking about. Oh yes, and then they're talking about, they brought it to how Wendy did to Candace at her music video. People thought that was the wrong time and place, and that she was whack for telling Candace in that moment. And she was like, well, what do you mean? I mean, there was a time and place, and you said it on production day. But Wendy believes that Mia had an issue with what she said, and she wants to now take it back. She said, no, I own what I said. I was happy that I asked because I wanted to know. But I feel like you used that as a way to make it even more worse, because Candace was already stressed out with how the video was going, but she did not blow up once you told her that. I said before, Wendy had good intention of letting Candace know, but in that moment, in that time, I feel like, damn, Wendy, you should have waited at least a day. But I feel like Candace would have did it anyway, because her main target is Mia. She's not even thinking about reading her mom to filth. No. Okay. Then Wendy started to talk over Mia about how, girl, you knew what you did, and oh my God, I mean, it was all like, it was all about this theatrics that Wendy was giving me, and I did not really like it that much. I didn't. So then, with everything that was happening, Karen is looking a little bit woozy. Because she got the shot, the vaccination shot in her arm. Her left arm was hurting, so she's definitely feeling the effects of it all. So Candace finally arrives. She's caught up to speed in her heels. She's clunking down this heel. Yeah, literally in heels. One heel has a bow in the back and one has a bow in the front. It reminds me of those feather heels that she wore on that episode of Wendy's ladies empowerment dinner or something. So she says, what's going on? Catch up to speed. So it says, we left off with your video shoot. How we thought that Wendy was a little bit whack for telling you in that moment of what was being said about her. Well, I felt like she did what she did. As a friend, she would have told me. Said, thank you. But we're not saying that she wasn't a friend, that she didn't tell you. We were just saying how that moment when she was already stressed, you added more to it by telling her about what was being said. That's all she wanted to be explained. But Wendy wants to now say, okay, so if it's reasonable for you to tell me, but then Mia wanted to cut off and say, okay, from that point you're making this about you. And I feel like it was about you, Wendy, because you wanted to talk about how Robin and Giselle practically antagonized you and interrogated you on how your whole body, you did it to help yourself feel better about what's going on in your real life, or even though it's wrong of them to not see that you just want to change for yourself because you did not like what you saw, you wanted a better body and you bought it. Even though that was being said, this was you taking the moment away from Candace on how, it was, you could just say, you know what, I stand by what I said, because I feel like if my friend was to let me know something, I would have taken it in the way that she did. But I feel like, Wendy, you wanted to take on everything back to how you felt in the beginning, when it was your turn. So, in the midst of, Mia saying that was your point, she said, "Look my shoulder again." She said, well, girl, we'll scoot over. You don't want to sit by me, scoot over so you can get some space. Again, I don't know what your problem is with Mia, Wendy, but I feel like you want to put her on blast because you did not find it comfortable for how she did Candace. But again, Mama Dorothy was the one that opened the conversation. She opened it. Sorry, Mia was being nosy and asking questions that a lot of us wanted to know. Now we got the answer. I really can't put Mia to the cross for that. I really can't. So she doesn't have a problem with what Wendy said. And of course, Wendy is so smug hearing it. She said, because that was whack. But Candace wants to say within 5 seconds, you're talking about who's paying the bills and what do Candace's titties look like and how much money they have. Those questions wasn't asked by Mia. Your mama was the one that asked those questions. All Mia asked was, how is he as a manager and is he getting paid? Those 2 questions. Your mama was the one that put little innuendos, little side comments about that's a big old house. He having a side hustle, maybe unemployment. I mean, I didn't know he quit his job to be a house husband. Your mama. And how she agreed with Giselle that he's running your coattails. Your mama added extra sauce into what she said on that video. It's on camera. Once you hear that Mia only asked those 2 questions, even though it's engaging, but your mom went to everybody, not just Mia. And like I said, Mia only asked the 1 question. Not the 1 question, 2 questions. How is he as a manager and is he getting paid? That's it. The whole titties, who's paying the bills, your mama said that. So, of course, with the question of him being paid, she felt like it was inappropriate to ask her mom that. And here goes Wendy. Why would she ask that? Because she's whack. She's like, okay, first of all, Mia said, No, Mia said, first of all, nobody's talking to you. So back. Yeah, when you was too happy for me and too eager for me to want to put Mia out on blast for this. I don't know why. But Mia didn't back down. She admitted to what she said. She wanted to know, and now she know. And again, she said, listen, explain to me how I wanted to come to something to support you, and nobody agreed to me. Nobody said hello to me. And I wanted to come to something that wasn't low budget. I mean, you were in the parking lot, Giselle said. And she said, oh, I'm low budget. Your mama's low budget. No, Candace. You don't know the dynamic between her and her mother. And I don't know when they'll find out. But you don't know anything about Mia. So the fact that you went this route, even though, yes, Mia was the one that engaged in the conversation, where is the energy for your mother? Where is the energy for Robin and Giselle? Where is the energy? So Giselle was like, okay, that's too much, Candace. I'm afraid you don't know the backstory between me and her mother, but that's too much. Talk about her feet or her incredibly large hands. But of course, I didn't even hear a thank you that you thanked us to be there. And, but then here come Ashley. Ashley wasn't even seeing this entire episode. She said one thing. Well, Candace, you talked about it with the group. You can't be upset. I don't think that was Ashley inserting herself. I think that's what was being, noticed. You addressed it with the group, and they wanted to ask. Boom, bam. So here comes Candace. Were you there, my beloved? No, but if I was there, and I had to hear what I heard, I would have been a pissed sister if I had wasted my time. Here come Candace. Oh, you are a pissy sister with your wide face ass. Here we go again. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And I felt like Ashley didn't even say nothing to me. All she said was, you talked about it with the group. Why are you this upset? I feel like she's upset because she did not want people to know what was going on. And she didn't want to give her mom more ammunition to have something to say. Too fucking late your mama did. Too late your mama did. Construction is so loud and interfering with the scenes, making it so awkward. So who else had something to say about what was going on with my finances? Or who else something to say about Chris getting my manager? Who else said? Here comes Giselle. Kara's talking to your mama. Wendy, how you gonna call out Kara and I call out your name? Well, okay, was it shady that we wanted to know the question was getting paid? Yes, we were being shady. We got our answer. Next. So it was a back and forth about the low budget comment thing, but Giselle said we're in the parking lot. Candace going on to say how she, was trying to be a friend to Mia, but when all these hoes was talking about you, I defended your ass. When did she defend Mia? Help me, when did she defend Mia? I want to understand. When did she do that? Oh, at her birthday party? Excuse me, at her birthday party? Okay. And you calling everybody else hoes, call you Wendy a hoe too. Okay. And so she said, okay, let's move on. Okay, we're done talking about it. Mia's done. Okay, we're good. Cool, done. Okay. So, my God, this is such a long ass episode. I'm so sorry. So, no. Yeah, here he is. Is it okay to drunk dial your friend and tell them how much you don't like? That is completely directed towards Karen, because Karen tends to drunk dial and speaks exactly how she feels in an honest manner while she's on Fireball. And they love it. Giselle has a last question, but she wants Robin to answer. Is it reasonable or shady to be concerned about your friend's dramatic changes after cheating rumors of your husband emerges? I'm like, I know we're not bringing this back to the first. I know we are not bringing this up again. Again, Robin and Giselle, y'all were being messy. Y'all wanted to know what's going to her and her husband. And I'm gonna need you to stop. Wendy, you brought up how you felt when they asked those questions in that moment too. So you're not innocent either. I'm done talking about this. Robin and Giselle, keep the bug, you're being messy. Wendy, you need to let it go. So then, of course, she says, well, if we read from the same blogs that said you have an STD, I guess that should be reasonable, right? Towards Giselle. I don't have an STD. I'm good. Thank you. Well, apparently, fuck me. But apparently it was said by Candace that they were talking about her at Robin's dinner. It only clipped to a small tidbit that Candace asked them, How's it going with you? We know that you guys were good. Robin said, we good. I just think there's unresolvement there. So she said, we weren't talking about her. But Candace said, we were talking about her for a whole 45 minutes. So what did you say, Candace? Did you defend Wendy on her behalf, or was just listening? So you can let them know what, so you can let Wendy know what she said, not what you participated in. I just want to know. So, of course, it wasn't about you. It's about what happened. Ashley was privy to that conversation, but of course, it will be perceived as she doesn't know everything. This based off of what, she was in this moment for. They going back and forth. Fuck it, Wendy. I don't give a damn. Go to hell. And it's just going back and forth, doing too much. Karen's hallucinating again. Candace is singing into her paddle. And Robin says that Wendy's being an asshole. She's doing too much. She's talking over people. I do believe she talked over Mia when Mia was telling her, girl, I know what I said. I said what I said. I know what I said. Don't tell me what I didn't say. And you need to stay over there because you're doing too much, in my opinion. And the whole thing about, I talk about that. And nope. So it leads back to what Wendy said in the beginning. If you guys were so concerned about me, all y'all could have called me. None of y'all did. So if you want to have a private one-on-one, you know my number. The fact that you did it like this, I don't fuck with it. You have concern, you know how to call me. But that was directed towards Robin, and she wasn't talking towards Giselle, but she said, I already read your ass in Williamsburg. I have nothing to say to your ass no more. So obviously, since Wendy felt like she's not getting through to people not getting through to her, Giselle said, all right, then you can go. If you feel like you're not being heard and this is too much of your time, you can leave. But I feel like, Wendy, you had this stank attitude that you don't be there in the first place. Based off of what Askell said or the context of what was being said, how you felt about Karen and her candles, and how you felt about, I guess, nobody really was mad at Mia for her doing what she did. Only you and Candace was, and it didn't work in your favor, and you wasn't drinking. You looked so irritated in the scene. And I felt like maybe the plan that she had didn't work, but you already had a stank attitude that she didn't want to come anyway, so Wendy, maybe you should have left. So, Karen was like, girl, we're in the middle of your driveway. They ain't no business public property. They can't just dig it. You can't just kick them out. But the whole thing about her not wanting me in her house anyway, okay. Askell wants to put on a full-blown clarity statement for them. Listen, the way you guys said it was offensive, so you can't get mad if she comes back with what you guys were prepared for her to say. Here come Mia. Oh, I know she was the mediator. She said, girl, calm down, keep it cute, stay over there. I'm just saying, you always got something to say as well. So what's going on here? I said, keep it cute. I'm going to speak my piece. Once I speak my piece, I'm done. You stay there with your whole ass. I was like, ooh, Askell. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know. I get Askell. She didn't like what Mia did, but don't take on Candace's problem as yours. Wendy, same thing. Don't take on Candace's problem as yours. But I understand what Askell was doing, but I just felt like the whole comment. Candace called all y'all hoes, and now you calling Mia a hoe ass, and Mia said insecure bitches call other bitches hoes. I'm like, oh, she's back. I don't think Mia is taking any. I don't think Mia even gives a shit about what Candace said to her, nor Askell. She's like, fine, go ahead. Oh my God, I hope you remember that I left off. But apparently, it's the whole back room between Askell and Mia. Mia's calling out Askell for now finally speaking up because she's always saying something. So now Askell gave it back to Mia, saying, stay over there and keep it cute. I'm going to say my piece. I want you to stay over there with your whole ass. Again, I do feel like, damn, Askell, I don't know if Mia was warranted that. I think they were really taking on how Candace felt in that moment because, to them, what's being said to Miss Dorothy wasn't really cool. I get that, but can we at least keep it a buck and say, listen, some shit's gonna get stirred and mess is gonna come out. We can't always cry every time something comes, especially Candace. And obviously, Robin said, okay, so I guess a lot of people don't find it wrong what Mia did. Other people do, and that's fine. And apparently when it comes down to money and things, people get a little finicky when that type of conversation comes up. Candace definitely one of those persons. I'm like, all right, cool. But hell, we were being shady and we wanted to know, move on. So it's a whole back and forth, and now Karen is completely being in a woo. She's in Atlanta milking cookies. She sees a whole lot of colors. Her arm is turning from that vaccine. She said, listen, I did not sit here. What are you doing with this party, Giselle? I did not sit here with you heifers when I got vaccinated for y'all. She said, vaccinated. So I don't know what the hell's going on. My fucking arm is hurting right now, so I don't know. Back and forth again. Here comes Candace. I am projecting what you are projecting on me. I was like, what the hell is going on here? So she's in La La Land apparently, and Karen was like, Wendy, what I want to know is, are you inviting everybody to this trip? Oh, trip, and she's like, I didn't mean to outlet that, Wendy. I'm sorry. She said, I blame the side effects and the hallucinations. Excuse me, but she invited all the girls besides Robin and Giselle, considering the fact that they don't have any significant others to be on the trips. Why would they come? Again, Wendy, that's gonna get kind of old with the whole they don't have a man, they don't have a stable relationship. Okay, Wendy, I get it. So hopefully all the men comes and everything. We'll have a good time. And Robin definitely caught the shade that Wendy did by not inviting her and not acknowledging Juan. So that's another stab in my relationship that you don't care for. If you cannot like me, but can you not try to take a stab at my relationship every time you see me? I feel like that's kind of what Wendy wants them to understand. Since you guys went on an entire trip talking about her behavior changes, her body changes, and how it could be colliding with her alleged husband's cheating rumors. She wants you to understand and say, you know what, leave me alone. But Wendy, stop giving flack about how we're still mad that they're talking about what could have been said. If you don't believe the rumors, don't believe the rumors. Stop giving it light. Stop feeling away every time it's being mentioned. Even though that was on their podcast, they did talk about you in their podcast and not be shady. They lying. But I'm going to need Wendy to let it go. I'm gonna need a way to let it go. So that was pretty much the end. You know what I'm saying? Party's over, everything's flying, and everybody is going back and forth. The last 20 minutes of this video was so funny. All the way down to Candace and Ashley, me and Escale, Karen, and everybody else, Wendy, all going left and right. It was a lot of mess and not no ground, not no, who is, who's right, who's wrong. I don't know. I feel like everybody played a part in doing too much, in my opinion. Wendy's still harping on to what they did to her in Williamsburg, let it go. But also, Wendy wanted to put me on the spot, doing something wrong that she don't agree with. That's you, Wendy. You don't agree with what Mia did? Fine. Just know for future references, you don't do that, okay? Let Mia handle her things with Candace. I think she can handle Candace as much as she did. And I feel like Candace, keep that same energy with your mama, Robin, and Giselle. Even though Mia was the main one engaging, your mama talked to Robin and Giselle too, and they had some 2 cents in as well. You didn't come at them the way that you came at her, talking to her about her mama being low budget. You didn't do that. You didn't do it. And even though Karen was listening, she didn't engage, you did not come at Karen. So I want Karen to not always go for one person when everybody played a part in what happened in her video. So after that, everybody pretty much leaves, but they are blocked because Candace is blocking them. But Giselle wants to give Candace and Askel a tour of the house. But she got some unstable, wobbly stones, and she said, first of all, I'll take a rain check. I'll come back when it's completed. So Candace is excited looking at the entire layout, her patterns in her walls, in her bathroom, the powder room. She loves it. She sees her big wide windows. People can see you naked in here. And Karen and Mia were like, I'm ready to go. So I don't feel miserable like her. Candace, move your car, please. I'm ready to go. Move your car. I'm ready to go. So then of course, she asked, Grace, can you move my car? You sure? Move my car, but don't crash it, please. I'm like, all right, cool. So she's going outside and she asking, where's Candace's car? It's the Champagne Lexus. And she said, okay, Robin, can you help me? I have faith in you, Grace. So she is, backing up, but she might have scraped her tire or her bumper with a rock while she was turning. But that was pretty much the episode. I mean, Grace did what she could. I mean, she can't drive, but y'all, that was pretty much the end of the episode. This was a mess of a show. I feel like everybody played a part in how the rest of the night went. It was not directed towards one person. Everybody played a part in my opinion. So the next episode, we finally get to see what transpired after this with the salad tossing. And this is going to be a hilarious moment for me. And I cannot wait. Y'all, please stay tuned for my next video. And I'm going to see you guys later. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.